Wow. He is back with more stunning scenery and fabulous food. John Torode continuing his two-wheel tour of wonderful county of Somerset. Yeah. Today, I'm in the Mendip Hills, and this area of natural beauty is home to stunning lakes, spectacular gorges, and acres of rolling hills.
As a keen cyclist, nothing fills me with joy more than a traffic-free path. And the Strawberry Line is as sweet as it sounds.
The Strawberry Line was the nickname of the Cheddar Valley Line until the late 1960s. It was nicknamed as such due to the sheer volume of strawberries that came along the railway line to London and Birmingham markets in the 1800s.
It's just beautiful. From Strawberry Line to Apple Orchard, and after all that cycling, I've got up a thirst. And there's only one drink to have in Somerset. It's got to be cider.
Somerset is synonymous with cider, and there are more than 400 different types of cider apples grown in the area. I've cycled up the Strawberry Line to Thatchers, that's been making cider here for over 118 years. Let's see if I can find myself a drink.
So this machine is called a
shaker.
It's called a shaker. Fair enough. And then on the floor here, all the apples, what happens to them?
So the next job is to get them picked up as quick as possible and transported into the mill so we can press them.
But that's not by hand or in a bucket?
No, that's one person driving an apple harvester, picking up all those apples very quickly, very efficiently.
So onto a truck, over to the mill, and then we go from there and we start making cider?
Correct.
It's going to take quite a long time for my pint, I think. That is a truckload of apples. Apparently there's 12 tonnes of apples in that truck. 12 tonnes. Apples out of the truck, up the belts, into there. So now they're being washed. Look like they're dancing, look, they're so cool. Amazing, really, and the next time we see these apples, there'll be a pint of cider. From orchard to glass. It's definitely wet the whistle. And it means now I'm also a bit peckish. Inspired by this extraordinary orchard, I thought the only thing I could do really is do something with apples and cider. My grandmother used to make the most amazing apple cake, and this one I've sort of adapted by putting some cider in there because it just makes it all that little bit more moist and delicious. I've got some Granny Smiths and some Bramley apples, and there's a reason for that. One keeps its shape, which is the Granny Smith when it cooks, but the Bramley breaks down. Apples into a pan, and then add to that cider. A little bit of sweetener, but I'm going to use maple syrup rather than sugar, and then a good amount of cinnamon. Who doesn't like apple and cinnamon? Think apple pies. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in there. Let that come up to the boil. Now, a great cake, a great pudding is usually about equal quantities of sugar, butter, flour and eggs. In this bowl, I have got butter and sugar which I've creamed together. Add to the bowl your vanilla essence, whip that together until creamy, and then add 2 of your 4 eggs. And the more air you can get in here, the lighter your sponge. And then the other 2, and a little tiny splash of milk. Whip that together. Now for the dry mixture. Put the baking powder and the flour together, then add 3/4 of that dry mixture to the bowl. When you've mixed the cake, the more you can aerate the cake, the more light and fluffy it'll become. Touch of milk, not very much, and then the rest of that flour. So now we've got this lovely, almost spiced apple jam. Take some of your spiced apple mixture and fold it into your cake mix. Plop it into a 20cm tin and whack it into the oven at 180 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. At this time of year, apple harvest, I also think blackberries, so I'm going to make a blackberry sauce, a blackberry and cider sauce, a nod to more cider. Add to a pan blackberries, soft brown sugar, black pepper and cider.
Allow that to cook whilst you decorate the cake with the remaining spiced apples, creme fraiche, blackberries and icing sugar.
So I've cooled my sauce down, and now a little bit of sauce across the top as well. There you have it, my apple and cider cake with a blackberry and cider sauce. In a brilliant day in Somerset.
I wish you could have brought that in yesterday with
All
him.
of it, yeah. Now. Can we have it now?
We're saying
Thanks,
apple
John.
can do no wrong, can
Apple,
it?
we just love apple.
We love a bit of apple.
What's not to love?